Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to lesson 4-6. In this lesson, we're going to be working some more with partial products and how we can use that to multiply two-digit numbers. Now, we've done a lot of work with partial products so far and adding those partial products to find our whole number. We're just going to continue using it into this lesson today. Let's go ahead and watch our short video, and then we can get into our notes and our guided practice together.
How can you record multiplication? Think about this question during the lesson. Marcia put 7 oranges and 8 apples into each of 12 bags. How many pieces of fruit did Marcia put into all of the bags?
Some problems have more than one step to solve.
How many pieces of fruit did Marcia put in each of the bags?
Select your answer.
Marcia put 15 pieces of fruit in each of the 12 bags. What numbers will you multiply to solve this problem? Why? You will multiply 12 and 15. 12 bags of 15 pieces of fruit is 12 groups of 15. Find 12 times 15. Make an array or area model. Why is the array divided into 4 parts? Each factor is broken into tens and ones. The 4 parts are equal to the 4 partial products. Find 12 times 15. 12 times 15 is about 10 times 15 equals 150. To find 12 times 15, first multiply the ones. 10 and 20 are partial products. What is multiplied by 2 ones? The 5 ones and the 1 10 in the factor 15 are multiplied by 2 ones. Then multiply the tens. What is multiplied by 1 10? The 5 ones and the 1 10 in the factor 15 are multiplied by 1 10. The partial products match the area model. Marcia put 180 pieces of fruit into the bags. The answer is reasonable because it is close to 150.
All right, so now that we watched our short video presentation on how to do this, this is very similar to what we've been doing in class. We create our area model or our array, and then we separate it by place value. So for 12, this side is 10, and then this bottom part is 2. For 15, this side is 10, and this side is 5. And then you find your partial product. So 10 times 10 for this part, and then 10 times 5 for this part, and then 2 times 10 for this bottom part, and then 2 times 5 for the smallest section. And then after you have those different partial products, you add them together to find your whole product. So let's go ahead, and before we jump into our guided practice, we are going to review our notes. So your guided practice questions are here on the screen. We're going to go through those together in just a moment. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our notes for this lesson. So you put your lesson title at the top, use partial products to multiply by two-digit numbers. That's for lesson 4-6. Now remember, we use partial products to help break apart large numbers into small parts that are easy to work with. Estimate to check the reasonableness of your answer. Now remember, when we're talking about reasonableness, we're asking, does our answer make sense? Could this be the correct answer? So we always do an estimate to help us figure out if our answer makes sense. So an example question that I put for you guys here at the bottom is to find 23 times 15. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an estimate. I changed my 23, I rounded it down to 20, and I did 20 times 15. Now I know 2 times 15 is 30, so 20 times 15 gave me 300. And then I drew my area model to help me figure out how to solve. So I'm going to zoom out a bit so that you guys are able to see more of my area model here. And you can see my whole drawing now. So 23 times 15. So this is 20, and then 3 more makes 23. 10 and 5 more make 15. So again, remember, broken up by place value. And then I start working on my partial products. So 20 times 10 for this section, and I wrote it over here. So this section I colored in purple. I wrote it in purple over here. 20 times 5, I did in orange, so I put it in orange over here. 3 times 10 is green, and then 3 times 5 that I did in the pink. So remember, you're looking at one side times the other side. And since we're working with rectangles, if this side up here is 10, the bottom down here is also 10. If this side over here is 20, that means this side over here is also 20. So I found my partial products. 20 times 10 is 200. 20 times 5 is 100. 3 times 10 is 30, and 3 times 5 is 15. Remember to use your basic facts. So 2 times 1 gave me 2, and then a 10 times a 10 gave me 100. Over here, 2 times 5 equals 10, plus that extra 0, 20 times 5 makes it 100. 3 times 10, you can do 3 times 1 equals 3, plus that extra 0 makes it 30. And then 3 times 5 is 15. Now, if I was going to stack and do my partial products this way, 3 times 5 gave me 15. 5 times 20, because this is in the tens place, gave me 100. 10, because this is in the tens place. 10 times 3 gave me 30. And then 10 times 20 gave me 200. When I added all of those partial products together, I got 345. So I know that 23 times 15 is 345. Now I want to compare that to my estimate. Is 345 close to 300? Since yes, it is close to 300, I know that my answer here is reasonable. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our guided practice for this section. Now in our guided practice, it asks us, let me go back to the questions so I can show them to you guys. In our guided practice here, it says in the example on the previous page, why do you multiply 2 times 1, 10 rather than 2 times 1? So in that previous question, you're doing 12 times 15. So you're doing the 2 times the 1, the number 1 that's in 15. And that 1 we know is a group of 10. So we find 2 groups of 110 because instead of 2 groups of 1, because that 1 is found in the tens place. So its value is 10, not 1. For number 2, it says in the example on the previous page, could you record the 4 partial products in a different order? Explain. So we know that with multiplication, just like with just like with addition, for multiplication and addition, we can use the commutative property. And the commutative property tells us that we can do things in any order and our product will stay the same. So long as you make sure you're using all of your partial products, you wouldn't have an issue with doing them in a different order. Now for your next section, you're going to be multiplying 23 times 14. So I showed you guys each one of the steps that I did to help you figure out what I was doing and to help you remember to do all of the parts. So remember, we start with the ones place and we multiply it by the ones and then the tens. If there was a number out in the hundreds, we would do by the hundreds or the thousands, but you have to go in order from smallest to biggest. So first I did the 4 in the ones place times the 3 in the ones place. So 4 times 3 gave me 12. So I wrote that number right here. Then I need to do the 4 times the number here in the tens place. So 4 times 2 tens or 4 times 20 gave me 80. Now that I've used my 4 on all of those digits, what I have to do next is I have to jump to my number in my tens place. So this is a group of 10. So 10 times the 3 in the ones place gives me 30. And then 10 times the 2 in the tens place, so 10 times 20 gives me 200. I add those partial products together to find my answer of 322. For number 4, we're doing the same process. So again, working with those partial products, working with one digit at a time. So we start with the ones place, ones times one. So 5 times 1 gave me 5. 5 times 4 tens, or 5 times 40, gave me 200. And then 20 times 1 gave me 20. And then 20 times 40 gave me 800. When I added all of those together, I got 1,025 as my answer. Now, since this is a review lesson where we're basically reworking area models again, reworking with those arrays again, reviewing our notes on partial products, our lesson for today is going to be very short. So remember, when you are working with area models, one of the easiest ways to help you make sure that you don't accidentally skip a step or don't accidentally forget to find one of your partial products is when you draw it out, write the equations inside those boxes. Once you've written those equations inside those boxes, then you can work them on the outside. Now for this one, I cut it into these 4 sections. Now you don't always need to break apart both numbers. So I don't need to break apart the 23 and the 15. I could have chosen to break apart one of them. So if I wanted to leave the 15 whole and just cut the 23, I would have done 20 times 15 and then 3 times 15. I could have done it that way as well. So I can show you guys what that would look like briefly before we finish up our lesson for today. Now, if I wanted to do, let's just do this on a sticky note so that you guys can see it. If I wanted to do the 20 broken up into 23 and the 15 staying whole. So I would still have my rectangle here. So if this side was all 23 and this side was 15, and I would just wanted to break 1. So this would be 20 plus 3, and this whole thing would be 15. So the way I would solve this, I would do 20 times 15 here, and then 3 times 15 here. Now I can also solve those numbers. Now I know 2 times 15 is 30. So 20 times 15 is going to be 300. 3 times 15, I know 3 times, or 15 times 2 is 30, plus another group of 15 is going to give me 45. And then I would add my partial products. And I can see that 300 plus 45 is equal to 345. So I could have also done it this way. I didn't need to break apart the 15 also, but I wanted to show you that you could either break one of your numbers apart, or you can choose to break both of your numbers apart. So you can end up with either 4 sections that you need to work with, or you can end up with 2 sections that you need to work with. And it's up to you to decide. If your numbers are easy to work with, you don't need to make as many cuts as you would normally. If the numbers are both challenging numbers to work with, then yes, go ahead and break them up into their place values, all the 10s together and then all the 1s together. That's it for this lesson. If you guys have any questions, please give me a call or let me know. Have a great day, 4th grade. I will see you in class. Bye-bye.